This next speaker is a servant leader. She has a deep desire to help people and provide them the tools they need to lead amazingly productive lives. She's a lifelong learner. She earned her master's degree in strategic leadership, but did not stop there. In 2016, she became a certified John Maxwell trainer, speaker, and coach. She wears many hats, but the most important is to be the mom to the amazing little boy, Seth. Presenting Achieving Peak Performance, I want to welcome to you campaign leader, Maricela Messner.
That's what I need. You guys gotta stick with me. All right, so when you guys think of achieving peak performance, what comes to mind? Shout out something. Stand up, shout out. Peak performance, what does that mean?
Maximizing your potential.
Maximizing your potential. What else?
Reaching your goals.
Reaching your goals. What else? Stretching. Ooh, that's a good one. What else?
Growth.
Growth. Ooh, synergy right there. What else? What about some of the challenges in terms of achieving peak performance? Burnout. Very important one. Possibilities. Awesome. So the reason this topic appealed to me in terms of speaking and my role in the peak performance is one that is just so important because we want to be doing things, but we just don't want to achieve a bunch of things off of our checklist. Okay? Because it's not about what's on the list. Oh, you know what? I got a lot of stuff done. Okay. What added value? What created positive movement? Did I bring clients into my world? Or did I just make a few phone calls and talked about the weather? Achieving peak performance is truly about you having a clear expectation of what it is that you're going to be achieving. No matter what role you have. I'll give you an example. Some of your kids who are starting out in school, starting to get part-time jobs. They're thinking, oh, you know what? I just need a little bit of money to pay for my cell phone bill. Or, you know what? I need to pay for my insurance. But what if you took the time to say, hey, let's talk about your job. I remember when I was a call center agent, many, many moons ago. I could go into work and I could get paid an hourly wage. But somewhere along the way, it's like, hey, we have this bonus program. Bonus program? What's that? Okay, you're telling me I can go to work, I can get paid my hourly wage, but if I am strategic about how I show up at work, I get to make extra money? Okay, what specifically do I need to do to achieve high performance? So I remember having a conversation with my boss, and I'm like, okay, tell me about this bonus program. Nobody told me about it. This guy said that he gets X number of dollars. You're telling me if I achieve this goal, then I get my hourly wage plus I get to make extra money? It's like, yeah, and this is every month? I'm like, what's wrong with you people? This is crazy. It's like, well, you'd be surprised how many people don't hit the goals every month. I'm like, well, that just means that there's more money in there for me. That's simple. I'm not gonna go show up at work and just be happy with an hourly wage. I'm gonna get that bonus. And wait a minute, with that bonus comes like all kinds of recognition. And call center agent, I used to be able to get off the phone if I actually hit my goals. Wait, you're gonna pay me to work, but I don't have to be on the phone talking to customers? Sign me up. It was amazing. So as you think about the people that you're mentoring, talk to them and say, hey, and we don't like talking about salary. I don't know why. It's because maybe we don't feel like we truly deserve it. And at work, you don't want to be talking about your salary. But with your kids, talk to them and say, hey, how much are you making? Because if you're not truly making what you're worth, are you really achieving peak performance? I remember when I got hired for my first job, and I got $40,000 as a supervisor. And some guy was out in the, I only make $23,000. Of course, I didn't tell him how much I was making, but I was like, ooh. And then I had to sit down with my supervisor, and I was like, wait, so how do I make more money? What do I need to do to achieve more? Because I was already working hard, and typically you guys are driven, because you're here, you're committed. So you're already working harder than your peers, so why shouldn't you make more money? Okay, so specifically, one of the things that I did is, you know what are the expectations that you have of me? Even as a call center agent, I needed to know what that expectation was. So I have to have this many phone calls, I have to talk to this many customers. You used to have something really simple, bug. I'd have bug on every call. What is bug? Benefits, usage, gratitude. They drilled that into my head. But you know what that meant for me? I got an extra bonus if on every call I had bug. That's not rocket science. Oh, Mr. Customer, before I get you off the phone, let me tell you about one of our benefits. You know what, we encourage you to use your card. And you know what, I appreciate your business. And there were times where I'd be like, ooh, did I say to you? Oh, you know what, sir? Make sure you use your card. I don't care if I said it 2 or 3 times. They were not going to find a call where I didn't do my bug. Because if I didn't do my bug, there was a chance that I would lose my quality commission. Guess what? Not on my watch. Because when I would do my quality, I'd get gift cards, I'd get gas cards, I'd get all this cool stuff. So as you're thinking about achieving peak performance, and you have all these people that are in your scope, your children, your grandchildren, you know, people that you mentor, help them. Nobody talks about salary, but guess what? If you don't talk to them about salary, they're missing out. When I took a job as a senior vice president of operations, the lady called me and she's like, hey, I have this great offer for you. We're gonna, you know, start you at $100,000. I remember having my peer with me and she's like, don't take it. And I was like, what? Don't take it. I was like, I've never made this much money before. She's like, don't take it. Put them on mute. Let me tell you about this. When somebody offers you that kind of money, guess what? They're willing to pay you more. So what you need to do is tell her that, okay, well, I'm going to take all the information that you've given me. I'm going to evaluate it. And you know what? I'm going to call you in 24 hours and let you know what I think about what you've offered me. And I'm afraid. I'm like, oh, they're not going to. It's like, no, trust me on this. So I did exactly what she told me. The next day, we had prepared, we did some market research, stuff I'd never done before. That role paid between $125,000 and $150,000 in that market. I was like, well, I need to get my money. Because all of a sudden, what happened? In my awareness, I understood what my performance was worth, what I could deliver for them. In one phone call, I got a $25,000 raise. How many years would it take me at 3% to get that $25,000? But luckily, I surrounded myself with great people that knew my potential and said, hey, don't do what you think you're going to do, which is run and take that job for $100,000. If I would have, I'd have lost out on 25 grand. You know what? That's a horrible opportunity. I'd have been okay. But the learning that I had from knowing my worth and my value, all of a sudden, you know, when I started that job, I better give them $125,000 worth, because that's what they're paying me. Of course, when you get to the senior levels, you get bonuses. So I was happy that my yield was, you know, possibly going to be 150, 175, not to mention the really cool trips. And so think about, when you're out in the marketplace, what do I need to do? Because I'm going to work hard regardless. Am I going to be okay with making this, or am I going to ask for what I'm truly worth? In that opportunity, part of my role, I got to travel. And guess what? My husband got to come with me. We went to Canada on the company. Why? Because we asked for it. At that point, I didn't have a child, but I still wanted to take my husband along. So we got to rent a car, we got to stay at, you know, downtown Montreal. He got to experience a really great place. But it was all part of the benefits that came along with this job. Corporate card. You know, so really think about your potential and understand where it is that you need to be. And again, you're okay if you don't make that, but come on. Recognize that there's so much more for you. So when you're out there and you're thinking about achieving peak performance, okay, how do I get what I need to so that I can ultimately have a better life for my family? Okay? One of the things that I struggle with when people come to me and they're like, oh, I'm struggling at work, I just don't know what's going on. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean when you don't know what's going on? Are you meeting the expectations? Well, I think so. Okay, what are you waiting for? As a leader, you don't wait for that supervisor to pull you in the office to talk to you about what you did wrong. You say, hey, can we schedule a one-on-one? They're gonna look at you like you got 3 heads. You know, so what you do is you say, yeah, I'd really like to know how I'm doing. Because, you know what, I need to know that I'm worth a little more than that 3% raise that you're going to give me. Because that's, on average, if you don't know that, that's what most people get, 3%. What's the cost of living increase every year? 5%? 7%? So you're not even making enough to live on, but yet you're okay with it because I just don't know. You know what? You start managing up. You have that conversation with that supervisor. You say, you know what? I really need to talk about my performance. They're going to freak out because, oh my gosh, you're going to make them do some work. Hey, they're your boss. They're supposed to be doing more work than you are. So manage up. Have a conversation. And guess what? They're not going to be prepared, but you will be. You know what's going to be on your list? Here's a list of the accomplishments that I've had in the last 6 months. Because guess what? 90% of the time, does your boss know what you do? So if you're not reminding him how valuable you are to that team, do you really think they're going to see you as the one when the list comes out to get the top raise? So how do you achieve peak performance? You manage up. Set a clear expectation for me in terms of what it is that I have to do. Give me a specific outline of how I'm supposed to do it. And guess what? I'm going to go to town. And every year, there's no question around why I didn't make what I'm worth. Because you know what? If I didn't get that 5-7% raise, I'm going to sit down and be like, did you not keep those little notes that I gave you? Well, here they are. Can you go back to our boss and reconsider this raise? Or could you go back and figure out how to give me other benefits? Because now all of a sudden you own your performance. You're not waiting for that manager, that supervisor to dictate and go, oh, you're just not good enough. What are you talking about? Let me show you. This last project that I worked on, this is how many customers I saved. This is how much money I was able to bring to the bottom line. And if you don't do that, no one else is going to do that for you. So it doesn't matter what kind of job it is. If you're a nurse, how many patients do you see? What's your satisfaction scores? My husband's in IT. You know what? Every customer that he touches gets to decide whether or not he gets a survey. So when he shows up, he not only just does bare minimum, he goes above and beyond. Because he's like, you know what? I don't care what my peers are doing. I care about what I'm doing and the service that I'm delivering. And I don't get paid to be a senior tech just to be average. Today, he's a senior tech, but tomorrow he wants to be a manager. In the future, he wants to be a director. If he stays here and he's comfortable with just what they're giving him, okay. You've seen the guys with the gray hair, they're saying, oh, I got laid off. Were they really working or did they get comfortable? And they just said, oh, I'm just going to skate by. I'm not really going to do what I used to do because you know what? I've been here. I've done my time. It doesn't matter where you get to, where you better work. Because you know what? When you do that, you're different. Because everybody else is average. Some people are below average. They're your peers. You got to know who you are in terms of your worth and truly understand what you can contribute to achieve the performance expectations. And I can tell you, it wasn't just a call center job. I worked for Best Buy as a market finance manager. There was a handful of us. Guess what? I was on the road. I had a peer group. I was always better than my peer group. My teams were always better. My stores were always better. Because of that, I got to go to Costa Rica. Because I just wasn't going to go and do the job and be average. I didn't even know if there was a trip to Costa Rica to be won. But every call, Maricela, we're your teams. Well, let me talk to you about that. We did this many credit cards. We've done this much to the stores. Because I wasn't just going to sit back and be like, yeah, well, you know, I had a rough week and my husband wasn't in town and I was really stressed. My boss didn't have any excuse for that. I knew in order to continue in that job, to have that freedom, to have that rental car, to be able to travel, I needed to be the best. And I didn't wait for my peers. If anything, my peers were calling me. I said, what are you doing? You know what? You took that store from the last one in the district to number 2. How'd you do that? You want me to tell you how I did that? Relationships. That general manager, I just didn't come in their store and be like, hey, I need you to start doing this. You know what I did? Hey, how are you? This is who I am. This is my role. This is what I do. How's your team? Who are your A players? Who are your B players? So I took all my management techniques and I started building them up. And when they would tell me about so-and-so who wasn't doing this or wasn't, oh, have you tried this? Have you tried that? You know, is there something that we could do? Maybe, hey, you know what? Let me get in there and let me be the corporate guy and say, hey, you know what? So I noticed that you're not closing at this rate, or I noticed that you're not attaching at this rate. Because The GM's tried all this stuff and it hasn't worked. Well, now all of a sudden you got a corporate person. All of a sudden that GM's like, wow, you're on my side? Absolutely. But guess what? When I needed something, guess who picked up the phone? Oh, it's Saturday, Memorial Day? You know what, Maricela? Don't you worry. We're going to get 32 credit cards for you today. When I looked at last year's results, I had like 2. But what I had done to help her build her team helped me to meet my goals. Sometimes they were like, you know what, I don't really feel all that well. Oh, I don't know why I have to work. And you guys know retail. You don't work a few hours, open and close. I'd catch them on a bad day. Oh, you have no idea. I don't feel, you know what, boss? I'll stay here and I'll come to the store. You just come back and lock up. You would do that for me? Why not? I was traveling. I was on the road. I didn't have anything to lose. I could still get my work done. I just have to be present. The employees are running the store. You know, they just needed a senior leader to be in the building. You know how much commitment I got from those GMs? Maricela, what do you need? Well, guys, the district's falling behind. This other guy, they opened up a brand new store and they have this many credit card apps. So, you know what? Let me call my peers. We're all going to rally and we're going to get you up there, number one. Why? Because I walked in their shoes. I understood what they did. I was part of their plight. I was part of what they did. I cared about what they did. You recognize them. Those are the guys that are getting beat up. They're not performing. Oh, you're not where you need to be. I go in there. Let's look at the quality metrics that you are hitting. You know what? This, and that. Okay, let's look at the ones that you need to work on. Let's strategize. Let's go on the whiteboard here. Figure out what are the things that we haven't tried, that we haven't done. And I have the advantage. I'm traveling all these stores. I get to see the best practices. The number one reason some of these retailers fail, or these restaurants fail, they don't talk to each other. Everybody's in a silo. So when their performance is here, they're in their whole, I just don't know. You pick up that phone and you say, hey, where your performance at? What are you doing? What aren't you doing? Because if you do that, all of a sudden, you're elevating yourself to achieve better performance than you were before. It's so easy for us to get caught up in our head and not recognize that there are people that are in the exact same spot that you are. They're getting beat up by corporate. They're telling them that they're not have good quality. They have complaints. What are they doing? How are they fixing it? The guy that you never see on the list because he's failing, what are they doing? Pick up the phone, call him. And if he's busy, send him a text. Say, I really need to talk to you. And then when something that you find that you're doing at your store, call somebody and say, hey, I don't know if you know this, but this weekend I'm running a Memorial Day sale. And you know what? I've got this coupon and it's going to bring me extra customers. It's going to do this to me. People are like, really? Oh, can you send me that template? Oh, can you show me how you did that? How do you do that? You do it in such a way that you build a strong enough relationship so that you achieve the performance that you're supposed to. As a leader, you've got to stay organized. It's so easy to be scatterbrained. Oh, I got to get this done. I got to get that done. You know what? Sunday night, look at your week, an hour, and figure out, okay, what am I going to get accomplished this week? And again, it's not about busy work, because busy work doesn't give you the results that you're looking for. What are the tasks that I need to do to accomplish the things that are going to bring me clients, where I'm either going to save money or I'm going to make money? Because if I'm not doing one of those two things, all these are for naught. Any company, no matter where you go, you're doing one or two things for them. If you're in accounting, you're figuring out how to keep those pennies, how to count those dimes, all that stuff, saving them money. Or if you're in sales, you're figuring out how to make them money. Your operations, your finance, they keep people productive. But trust me, make no mistake, you're not there just because you look good. Okay? So understand the value of the work that you can provide in order to elevate and achieve better performance. If it's the individuals that you're training, okay, is their performance being raised? If not, something's happening. They're checked out, they're taking notes, but they're still going back to work. And you know what? 99% of the time when somebody's not performing, you know what's wrong with them? Something's happening at home. And guess what? Nobody cares. Because if you simply took the time to say, hey, what's going on? How do I help you? And they may put you off and not want to talk about it. That's okay. But if you seed, and if they see that you're genuine about the work that they do, they're going to open up. Because we're all humans. We've got this need within us that says, I need somebody to care about what I do. significant. I want somebody to notice when I missed that quality. Because if I missed it, it's because something else was on my mind. Nobody gets up on purpose and says, oh, I'm gonna screw up today. I'm gonna fail miserably today. Nobody does that. It doesn't matter who you are. We've got a lot of people who are up here, but somewhere along the way, something's gone wrong. They tried. When you hire people, how many of us hire F players, C players? When's the last time you hired somebody and said, oh, they're gonna be a horrible employee? When you hire that person, let me tell you about this new hire. What happens when they get into their role? We fail them. We don't communicate, we don't set expectations, we don't follow up, we don't recognize. So all of a sudden, your C and D and F player that you want to fire, who does that reflect on? Yeah, they may have had some bad luck, some things may have happened, but who let them get to the point where they became an F player? You. Think about it. Your accountability is in developing leaders. In the call center world, it costs me tremendous amounts of money to train people. And every time I'd lose one, I'd sit there and do the math. $5,000, $10,000 because of the lost time, the training I invested in them, what it was going to take me to replace another employee. All that goes into the mix. So it was in my best interest to have the best number of employee satisfaction. Because if I didn't have that number, I was bleeding on the other end with attrition. And anybody who's ever told you that, oh, I can handle without employees, you're wrong. Doesn't matter who you are. You need to value those people because you've already invested them. When you hired them, they were the best people for the job. Nobody just, and sometimes you have to hire people and you think, well, maybe I can influence them, maybe I can work with them. Yeah, absolutely. You set the clear expectations, you follow up, you recognize, you do all of those pieces and you're gonna have a stellar employee. As human beings, we all need to be nurtured, we all need to be groomed. Okay? Because if you do that, you're gonna have a stellar employee. It's not rocket science. Management, we sometimes make it, oh, no it's not. It's critical that you set clear expectations for that employee. You follow up, you tell them how they're doing. If they messed up, let them know. Hey, I asked you to do this, but you didn't really do it my way. And I understand you did it your way, but let me show you some of the opportunities that I saw. You may not have thought about the cost of this or the implication of that, and you thought it was easy, but you know what? I've been there. I've done it before, I know. And this is what you're not seeing behind the scenes. So can you try it my way? And guess what? If you still fail, then I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna tell you, let's figure out a different way. Because my way didn't work for you, your way didn't work, but we gotta come up with something else. Because the company's counting on you to get us to where we need to be. Because what happens when you tell somebody that you're counting on them? All of a sudden, they stand up and go, oh, they're counting on me? Yeah. Because you know what? I can't do their job. I've got my own job to do. But all of a sudden, you give them that positional authority to say, hey, I need you to step up and I need you to do this. What are they gonna do? I got you, boss. And guess what? If something goes wrong and they're not responding, figure out what's going on at home. Figure out what's going on with their children. Maybe their schedule doesn't work. Maybe they don't have enough money to get to and from work. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you don't understand those, go Google them. Your employee will not perform for you if you do not ensure that their needs are being met. It could be an intimacy need. Maybe they're having issues, and you don't want to go there, but be aware that that's why they're not performing. Maybe they're separated from their spouse. Maybe they don't have a place to stay that night. But at least all of a sudden, you're putting the human aspect to the leadership piece. People aren't animals. You can't just make them do things. As a leader, you have to care for them. And when you do, you're going to get the best performance. My restaurant, I'm able to take 10 days away because I've got the right people in the right places. Are they going to do things my way? No. Going to keep my fingers crossed that they don't burn the building down. That's why I got insurance. But if I don't ever do that, I'm going to be sold to a business that doesn't do anything for me. And so you know what I have to do? I've trained you, here's the instructions, here's everything you need. If you don't have what you need, then call me. But I've done that, and you know what? My business, my entire life savings, plus my business partner's life savings are in there. But I can't work it 24/7. I'm not gonna be a viable leader if I am. I need to have that time away from my family where I regroup, I go back, then I'm fresh, I'm energized. I get to do other things. So it doesn't matter what kind of job you're in, think about those pieces. And think about your employees, your kids. Set expectations for them. People look at my son and they're like, man, your son is the best kid. Somewhere along the way, somebody told me, do not allow your children to ruin your life. Okay? How many parents, oh, I can't go out, I can't do this. It's because you've allowed that little child to ruin your life. That child will do what I instruct him to do. What does the Bible talk about? How to train up the child. My husband and I were talking and he said something smart. I said, honey, you don't talk to mommy that way. He doesn't know what is right, what is wrong. It's my job to instruct him. He got his feelings hurt, but he's not going to talk to me like that again. Because guess what? He continues to do that, then you have a different type of discipline. So when you struggle with your children, a lot of times as parents, we're not setting clear expectations. We don't say, you got to go to bed at this time and stick to it. When you say, I'm going to take away your phone, do you really take away their phone? Oh, I just don't want to hear them. Really? You're allowing them to be who they are. These children are not your best friends. Your responsibility to these children is to instruct them in a way that they're going to grow up and be viable human beings that are going to respect authority. Because if you don't, someone else is going to take care of that, and guess what? 9 out of 10, where are they going to be? Because, oh, well, I think I can. Oh, really? Get out in the real world. And us parents, we want to protect them, but you've got to be hard. You've got to be stern. Same thing with those employees. They're not your friends. Those employees work for you. I like them. They're really great people. But if they don't do what I need them to do, that's a different conversation. And they need to understand that there's a fine line between me being your best friend and me being your employee. And I can fire my best friend. Because guess what? You're not producing for me the way you need to. Your quality is not being taken care of. And it's going to hurt me. Ooh, it's going to hurt me. I'm going to have to work. I'm going to have to. But you know what? The minute that I fall back and decide, oh, no, it's okay. All of a sudden, when I'm sitting here hurting and I'm struggling because they're all over me, who created that? Look in the mirror. So how do you achieve high performance in the workplace? How do you achieve high performance in your jobs, at home? You own that. God has given you a mental capacity. And oh, people, talk to me all the time about, oh, you're so spiritual, you're so religious. Why do I need anything else? When the good book tells me everything I need. My favorite book, The Secret of the Ages, written in early 1900s. It's amazing. It talks about all the gifts that I have, everything that I was made for, and it is all backed up with biblical principles. I don't need some new, I don't even know, name these guys. Oh, let me tell you how to get rich quick. No such thing. You just want my $20. Okay? If I go and research early 1900 thought leaders, I can get those for free. I've invested in myself. You heard. It wasn't enough that I had my master's degree back in, whatever year. I was like, no, I'm not done. Lord, there's something bigger and better. It doesn't matter that I have 2 associate's degrees, a bachelor's and a master's. It doesn't matter, I'm not done learning. I invested in the John Maxwell team. People are like, well, why would you do that? Why wouldn't I do that? We were talking about this earlier. My mentor specifically runs almost $100 million company. He mentors me directly. I can get on the phone with him and talk to him. I can say, hey, you know what, Paul, I'm struggling with this. Last year, I got on the phone with him because I was struggling. I had lost my brother. I was in a horrible place. I lost my brother to alcohol addiction. In a very tragic accident. He got hit because he drank too much and didn't recognize that when you're impaired, you can't cross the 4-lane highway. I was in a horrible place. And I had carried all this guilt, all this emotional stuff. And I was in a bad place. And I remember going to an event called Turning Point that he had last year. I was like, I don't even know why I'm going to this thing. Because if you're like me, you sign up for these events and you're like, oh, I don't want to go to this now. But it's a good thing you sign up, because then you show up, right? But I remember going there and just knowing my soul was searching for something. And I didn't know what it was. And again, it wasn't like I was going to church or anything, it was personal development. And there was a follow-up call after that. And I get on the phone and I ask Paul a question about me and things I was struggling with. The CEO of the Maxwell company had the courage to tell me, you know what, Maricela? Are you tired of struggling yet? What are you talking about? That's why I'm calling you. It's like, so when are you ready to surrender? I was like, what do you mean? That's why I'm calling you. It's like, you know what? You need to forgive yourself for whatever it is that you're carrying. You need to surrender. And this is where it gets great. And you need to start a 12-step program. The CEO of the Maxwell company saw something in me that I had been running from, that I had been hiding from, and took the time to say, you know what, Maricela, I'm doing a 12-step program. Because when you do, you're going to learn to live free. Guess what? That was last year. It took me a whole year to finally realize that, you know what? I can't do it all by myself. May 5th of this year, I started my 12-step program. And it's, people were asking, are you on drugs? Are you getting off crack? What's going on with you? My coach, she's like, I think you need to clarify why are you on a 12-step program, because you know, this can affect your image. I was like, okay. It's called Celebrate Recovery. And the beauty of it is, it's you heal from hurts, habits, and hang-ups. My life is crazy enough, I don't need some extra drug to make it crazy. But what I'm learning in a short period of time, when I surrender, when I allow God to take all this stuff that I've been carrying, the guilt behind, because was there more I could have done for my brother? You know, maybe I could have put him in one more rehab. Maybe I could have, really? You have to accept. And you've all heard the Serenity Prayer. Accept the things that you cannot change. And make the difference in the things that you can. I'm telling you, this last month for me, I used to think I was a rock star. Okay? Because I've always had this power. But now, I am a rock star. Because you know where my power is coming from? And it's no longer about me. It's about, God, let's do this. You know what? Take this vacation. You know what? Invest in myself. Investing in your personal development is the most important thing that you can do. And you know what? We can all say, oh, I don't have the money. You know what? When you want that dress or you've got to pay that gas bill, did you figure out how to get that money? When all of a sudden that mortgage is due, you're going to figure out how to get that money. So if you care enough about yourself, you need to invest in yourself. And there's a perfect coach for you. You don't have to be like, oh, there's that guy who's selling that program. You know what? If that person doesn't resonate with you, keep looking, keep searching. The social world is amazing. At my fingertips, I have access to so many people. And if the material was what actually fixed you, everybody would be fixed. Everybody, you know what? Because there's free resources online. Sign up for this, sign up for that free content. Where does the change come from? Well then, what do you specifically have to do to change? Have the right mindset. Take massive amounts of action. And guess what? Your peers aren't going to do it because they're comfortable. Growth is easy when you don't want to do things to improve your life. But you actually have to change. I had a conversation with one of my dearest friends because they no longer served me. I had to walk away from a 9-year friendship because, you know what, I hate to tell you this, you're just not adding value. You know how hard that was? But guess what? I lost 200 pounds when I did that. Whew, I am free. I don't have to worry about what I say or how I say it because they're no longer in my life. What helped me to get there? My mentorship, my coaching. If I wouldn't have invested in all of that, where would I still be? Certainly wouldn't be standing on the stage because, well, I'm not good enough. I just don't think I can do this. Really? All those voices in your head, do they serve you? Question that thought. Is it real? My son comes to me and says, Mommy, nobody at school likes me. What are we going to tell him? It's not true. So why do we believe it? Why is it that, oh, I shouldn't wear red lipstick because I look like a floozy? Really? Who's going to think you? Get over that thought. The girl out there positioned and say, hey, you should actually have some coloring lips. You know what, bring it. Today is the first time I wore red lipstick. Because before I was too worried about what people might say or how I might look. I don't have to worry anymore. Because I'm empowered, I'm free. And that's my goal for you guys. To figure out where you fit into this world and be the best version of yourself. Because if you do that, when you go to bed at night, you're going to sleep like a baby. Put yourself on a plan, figure out what it is that you need to accomplish. I don't care if it takes you 5 years, 3 years. I went to school from 1994 to 2004 to get my master's degree. You better believe all during that time I wanted to give up. There were plenty of times when I got my bachelor's, my husband's like, okay, we're signing you up for master's. Like, no, I'm done. I'm going to take a break. He's, no, you're not. Because I know you. If you don't start, you're not going to start. So as soon as I finished one, we signed up for the other. I was like, but I'm not ready. He's like, I don't care. I didn't get you this far to just let you quit on yourself. Because that's what happens. That's what happens to our kids. We don't push them to go to college. I'm just going to take a year off, Mom. Really? No, you're quitting on yourself because you don't want to do the work, because you want to go and hang out with friends. Really? You know what? My expectation is you will go to school, you will graduate, you will have A's and B's. Because if you're going to be my child and represent who I am, you're no CD student. Because today's world, these kids are brighter than we are. So if we allow them to be substandard and be down here, you're not doing them any justice. You're not going to be here forever. If you don't empower them today, I look at my child. He listens to me as I'm listening to John Maxwell, Tony Robbins. And there's times where I'm all jazzed and he's in the back going, yeah, Mom. 4-year-old. He becomes who I want him to be. And it doesn't mean I'm going to push my values on him. I have zero idea that he's going to own a restaurant. Because you know what? You know what he loves to do? When we're building a train or we're building whatever, he looks at that instruction manual and stares at it for 30, 40 minutes. What 4-year-old does that? Certainly not the one that's going to want to work at a restaurant or own a chain of restaurants. So I did the restaurant for me, to create flexibility for me. I don't expect him to buy into what I'm going to want for him. Honey, what do you like? He likes trains, he likes cars, he likes horses. You know what? Give him everything. Let them pick, let them develop, and encourage them. Because if you do, then all of a sudden, they're going to grow, they're going to thrive. And when they do, they're going to make you proud. Maybe that's my timer. It's God speaking. Thank you guys for the opportunity to speak. I'm telling you, God is powerful. He's right here with me. If I can serve you, please reach out to me, messnerleadership.com, messnerleadership.com, MESSNER, leadership.com. I am opening a brand new program. It's called Life Path Coaching, and it's a year-long program where you get to walk beside me, and I get to challenge you and encourage you. It's a very competitive price. My rate is $500 a month for my coaching, but because you guys are here, because of your commitment, I have a one-time rate of $399 for the year, and it becomes like a coaching mastermind. And I'm telling you, you can ask Lakeisha, our Maxwell certifications aren't cheap. When we paid for them, I paid, $5,000. I re-audit every year. If I want to send you to one of those, today is going to cost you $7,000. So the reason I'm offering this value is because I know that if I can get you to a place where God will use you, the sky's the limit for you. And you're going to look at $300, $400 and be like, that was nothing. Because you've invested in you. And trust me, for some of you guys, you're like, okay, we'll put you on a payment plan. But don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on you. Because if you do, you're going to continue to do that and then encourage your kids to do that on themselves. And if I'm not your right coach, that's okay. There's other coaches out there. But figure out what it is that you need to do to elevate who you are. Because if you don't, your time's not guaranteed here. And you may as well live the best life that God has for you. Because if you don't, you're going to sit on your deathbed and go, wow, you know what? I didn't build enough relationships. I didn't love my kids enough. Because you're too busy up here. We spend how much time up here in our heads? Does it serve us? No, we're paralyzed. So bet on yourself. Do what God has called you to do. And I don't care what it is. Do what makes you who you are, but elevate yourself. Invest in who you are. God bless.
That's right. Give her a round of applause, everybody. Wow. That was some good stuff. Really good stuff.